Welcome to The Connect. I'm your host, Devana, and we're going to go ahead and introduce everyone.
Hi, I'm Mark.
I'm Zanae.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to be talking about why HBCUs are important. Does anybody know why HBCUs are important?
Honestly, it's just the culture. Like, we present a different type of culture when it comes to colleges and like the college life experience. And I'm pretty sure when people say, "Oh, I want the college experience, like the true college experience," they think about HBCUs and what we do, because we're known for our parties and we're known for like the styles of like organizations, and like we're just known for bringing a certain spice to the community.
Right.
Yeah.
I also think that it's a huge part of history. You look back at history of minority people's history, and we've lived so long in constriction and confinement. And when you think of an HBC, you don't think of restrictions and, being put in a jail cell, I guess.
Right,
You think
like
of
a box.
Innovation, creativity. If you go to like an HBCU game, you don't see anybody just sitting there.
Right.
Everybody's
In the stands dancing.
shaking and
Yeah,
doing
stomping.
like,
Super
and
fun.
I think that's healing to be able to go from that to being free.
Yeah.
And I think kind of connecting both of y'all's responses, like one talking about culture and the other one about not being restricted, bringing them together kind of invites others to come in from
Right.
different cultures too. And I think that was beautiful about HBCU, that it's not just confined to one culture, but it's so inviting to others as
Yeah,
well,
super
so they
accepting.
can enjoy that same culture too. And so that's what's beautiful about it. And it's beautiful when even like the faculty, the staff, and the students
Right.
kind of embrace it and kind of show it off too. It's
Right.
very encouraging, very loving. It's just amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of that because I think that representation is like what gets, minorities going. We're not as classified to move on to that next phase of life, especially like furthering education in college. So like I think the whole HBCU scene really invites us to like keep going, keep pushing. Like I had a great time last semester. Who knows what next semester is gonna bring? I got my friends. I might not see them, but I'm gonna make more friends. And I joined this club, so now I'm getting involved in this. And like you just build those connections for like, life.
Perfect.
Truly.
Opportunities. There
Yes,
you go.
opportunities.
Yeah,
All that
Definitely.
networking, get
yeah.
networking, y'all. So, if I may ask, what made you guys choose an HBCU? Or did y'all want me to go first?
Go first.
So actually, fresh out of high school, I graduated early, so I really didn't have a plan initially. But I knew, based off of what you said, Mark, like I wanted to do the HBCU thing. I wanted to, be a part of like these clubs and stuff. I wanted to pledge. I wanted to, be an
All
HBCU
of that.
cheerleader
All of
because
it.
it's just a whole different vibe. It's more crunk. It's more like, it's more like what's gonna happen. You never know, like who you gonna see, who you gonna meet.
Yes.
You see a lot of celebrities going to HBCUs, like doing the little tours and stuff. So I wanted to be a part of that. So that's what made me like, this is for me. One, I'm being accepted. I don't have to like pretend. I can be myself fully, and I can go on campus and just like figure out what I want to do in life.
Yeah.
And there's people that look like me, so it's not like I'm like confined into that box. I can
Right.
be free. I can be open to like do whatever without being judged or whatnot. So yeah,
Right.
that's why I chose.
Well, I don't know. For me, I don't think I've told you this story because we're always talking and stuff.
We do be
But
talking.
before I enrolled at St. Philip's, I went to college twice out in Dallas, and the reason why it didn't work out with those two colleges was because I felt like I was put into, like you said, like a box where I couldn't really be myself, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like there's so much that I want to do, and they're not having it. So I went to two colleges. I dropped out of both because
You said it's not for me.
it's not for me. I got really depressed. I was just like, I don't have a sense of belonging. And I moved out to San Antonio, to really just start new and really just try to figure things out. And I was like, you know what, there's got to be an HBCU out here. I was like, that's the only way I'll go to college is if it's an HBCU where I can feel comfortable and I can feel like good about myself.
Right.
And lo and behold, here I see St. Philip's,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, an HBCU and an
here.
HSI.
Period.
I was like, representation.
Yeah, just for the people,
just for the
So you know, pretty much my first day like ever on campus, I go up to our director, Dr. Matt, and she's literally, and I'm like, do you know how I can, you know, find out about like the cheer squad here? Because I was like, that was another thing I wanted to do, cheerleading. And she grabs my hand. She literally takes me to the captain of the squad at the time, and she's like, "Here's your new member." I didn't have to try out. Like there was it. I didn't feel like I needed to like do anything. They were just like, okay, let's go.
Right.
And now I'm into the HBCU cheer
belong.
thing. Like
Mhm.
I found exactly where I am, and this is the most I've ever been involved with school in general.
Which is amazing.
So I'm happy about it. And then I'm over here. I'm succeeding. I got a 4.0.
You are. Don't play honors.
Yes.
Yeah. So
On
that's
the
why
stupid.
I chose. I feel like I'm flourishing now.
You
so
are.
Yes,
Thriving.
feels good.
Yes. Okay, that's proud. That's like a proud moment.
It is.
It really is,
Full circle,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah,
Mhm,
no,
truly.
real. And you had to go to those schools to be able to go to this one,
Mhm.
and that's amazing.
No,
to
it
me.
really is. It's
Success
awesome.
story, babe. Right
Right.
there.
Big time.
Yeah. So for me personally, well, all of my family, my mom, I was one of the students whenever they opened the Child Development Center and they had like a daycare, you know, where they, you know,
Yeah, right there.
I was one of the first kids to be able to go there because my mom went there, my grandma went there, my uncle still works here. And at first I wasn't planning on going to St. Philip's.
Yeah.
I was in an area where I had like we're talking about, I had to be in a box, I had to do a bunch of code switches and stuff and be like, oh, I have to appease all these different people. I didn't feel welcome. And then life kind of pushed me to move out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
I moved to San Antonio, and ever since then, things have flourished for me as well.
Yeah.
And going to an HBCU, now I was already planning on going to an HBCU, but I feel like my life wasn't meant to go to the other ones first. I was meant to go
Right.
here first.
Yeah.
Nice.
And this is my second year. I'm starting my second year, and I will be transferring next year to another HBCU.
Hey.
There you go. So personally, growing up, you know, I'm first generation, so I had zero idea of the college life or anything about colleges and universities. So honestly, I didn't know what a HBCU was, what it stood for, until, you know, I was placed as a temp employee here through a temp agency, and just the inviting community within the staff kind of encouraging me to pursue higher education and kind of showing me step by step through the process of enrolling. I really enjoyed that, and then learning about the pride and the recognition of being an HBCU really did push me to even be more active and within the campus community. Like Marcus mentioned, you know, finding things to do on campus.
Right.
And I think it's just amazing how easy it is to find opportunities here on campus or even within the community too. And I just really enjoyed being able to say, you know, I'm from St. Philip's College, HBCU, and HSI, just that recognition and that pride. It's just really cool within San Antonio. It's just amazing being able to say that to everyone that you speak with and introduce yourself with as well.
Right, especially when you're talking to other schools and they don't know,
Yeah.
like who St. Philip's is.
Yeah.
To educate them.
Let them know real fast. Perfect.
No, it was crazy going to a UTSA cheer clinic and finding out that they had no clue like who we were when we showed up. They were just like, oh, this is like a random team that's coming up in here. I'm like, yeah, we've been here for a while. So
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So now I'm just like, okay, well, I hope they're ready to see more of us because here we
Yeah.
come.
That's what makes it important, you know, that representation.
Oh, SBC's on the map.
Yeah, we gotta bring us
We're on the
out, you
map.
know, parts up clause out. We gotta bring them out.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I think I have one more question. Why do you think HBCUs are important, like across the board, not just, you know, St. Philip's, but just like all HBCUs across the country? Why do you think they are important?
I mean, looking back at the original definition of what an HBCU is and the goal for it as well, I was looking at this as well, kind of opening up those opportunities for the Black American community, especially in those communities throughout the nation that may be stuck a little bit in the past, as you
Right.
can say. And so giving that opportunity to those individuals, and even like we mentioned earlier in the first question, opening it up as well to other individuals within the community is very beneficial and very helpful, and they deserve it the
Yeah.
most. Yeah.
Definitely. If I could piggyback off of that, I want to say, like, I don't think people realize that education was not accessible to, you know, minorities, like, period. once upon a time, blacks weren't allowed to read or write. So I think it's just amazing that we were able to be like, we do deserve a higher education. So we do need these organizations put in place so that we can nurture and grow our own communities, because it's not fair for us to help, build these communities and not be a part of them. So I
Right.
think that's like, just that representation, just being known for that. And feeling safe too.
Yeah.
I think that's like a main thing. Being able to walk, to my next class and being fully accepted into that class. Like, I'm here to learn just like everybody else.
Right.
I think that's like super important.
I was definitely going to say, to piggyback off of that, like just being able to walk onto campus and like not have to look over my
Right,
shoulder,
over your shoulder.
or feel like somebody's watching me constantly.
Or doesn't
and
think that you're gonna
and
do
if
enough.
people are watching you, it's for a good reason. It's not like
Definitely.
for anything
They believe
malicious
in
at
you.
all. And it's
Right.
crazy, like the support that you get like from people at an HBCU than you would at another
Definitely.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
don't get
insane.
Total
overlooked.
difference.
Like
Yeah, you don't get overlooked at all.
no accomplishment is too small. No accomplishment is
You
too
get that
small.
praise.
They'll
Let's
throw,
celebrate.
they'll,
Yeah,
they'll
give
throw
us
a party.
celebrate.
They'll throw a
Every
pizza party for
accomplishment is celebrated.
anything.
Right.
Oh, you got a 4.0? Okay, let's
Right.
throw a pizza
You
party.
didn't have no GPA when you started, and now you have one.
Oh, pizza party. Yeah.
Like, let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like that. We're not being overlooked.
Right.
And yeah, that's just one thing, especially going to a high school where it was just kind of like they valued all of the honors kids
Right.
and everything over the other students. And it was like now that I'm an honor student, I can see, I can literally see the same thing. Like
Right.
honors kids, they are being held to like, on a
Different
higher
standard,
pedestal
yeah.
than the other students, which is why I don't brag about it that often, but I know administrators, they brag
yeah.
about it, and I'm just like, that's fine.
No,
Just
you're
like,
supposed to.
just like, I don't want it to seem like, that I'm just like, oh yeah, I got this. And
That's
blah,
the
blah,
work you
blah.
put in, though.
No.
It's not
Yeah.
like this
That's
was handed
not-
to you. Like, you had an opportunity
No.
to grow.
Yeah.
Because you told us you came from 2 different schools
Yeah.
that didn't accept who you were. And you came here on a whim, didn't know anyone, and they accepted you, put you in these clubs. you
Yeah.
know, gave you, like, access to people so that you could grow.
Yeah.
Now you have a 4.0. I would brag about that, too.
And
Right.
that's why I don't even want to say I want to brag about it, but I just want to inspire other students and other kids that are like looking up to me and looking at me that I don't know that are watching me.
And I feel like in minority communities, as a black person, as an African American woman, man, anybody really who's minority, we feel like we have to shine, or we
Right.
have to push our shine down, or I guess like we have to dim our light.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of our success, because we feel like we're going to intimidate someone else, whether that be like grades or accomplishments, and most of the time we have to work 10 times harder.
Yes.
10 times harder than, in a regular situation. If we weren't going to an HBCU, we would have worked
Right. 300
so-
times harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
like,
you
True.
be proud of that. And I mean, don't be like, hey, like right on your
Right.
forehead.
Yeah,
right?
Because, like,
like,
no,
oh my
every
God.
once in a while,
Arrogant.
like, yeah, I'm
But
an honor
you're not
student
like
at St.
that.
Phillips. Like,
You're not like that.
No,
You're-
I don't push it out like that. Like even when I posted it on Facebook, like I was just like, this is just for friends and family.
yes, but y'all know I'm doing good in school.
I'm doing good. Y'all thought I was doing bad. Haha.
You
Right.
start from the
Real.
That's what I
bottom.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Start
really.
from the
Like
you gotta prove those
And then
people
you-
wrong. People that
Right.
didn't believe in you.
Yeah.
y'all
What
thought.
was the question again? Because I still got to answer
No,
that.
and I had to look at the camera.
Why are HBCUs important?
I think the history, like I was going to piggyback off all y'all, the history behind this type of school is amazing. And you think about it, we have so many challenges to keep these schools open when society is kind of pushing to keep them closed, I guess.
Definitely.
Because all the HBCUs, if you look at a map, you can only see them in the south because they don't open new ones in the north.
And those are
Because-
all the older ones in the north.
Right, yeah. And so it was only opened for because we didn't have our own schools and we're not, building more just because we have access to all of them.
Right.
But I feel like we need more, you know?
Definitely do.
And so it's a testimony to have schools that are open for hundreds and hundreds of years. Like we just had our 125th anniversary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
there you go.
Like,
Yeah, say
man, I can't remember a relationship lasting
Okay.
that long. Like there's like that's a long
true,
time.
that's
Some people
true.
don't even live to. No one
Okay.
lives to
No.
125.
Think of how many people have passed since then,
Right.
Since then.
who didn't get an opportunity to have an education,
Like who
Right.
paved the
or
way for
have the
us.
thought to further an education, but just wish that one day we could sit here and be able to talk
Right.
about furthering this,
They
like
smart.
getting
They smart and
a
they
little book
happy.
smart.
Yeah.
They
They
are.
I like that 4.0.
That 4.0. Don't play.
Don't play with it.
Okay. Well, I think we're about done, guys. Thank you so much for sharing. I had a great time. Hopefully, we get some more questions in. But I think we're going to wrap it up.
Awesome. This is great. Thank you.
Okay, Tigers. We'll see you guys soon.